Palumbo here with an RX Muscle news update. Marcello De Angelis from Brazil, aka Horse MD on Instagram. We all know him. We've been talking about him for the last week and a half. He's the guy who somehow thought that he was going to height in at Classic Physique in the Brazil muscle contest at a higher height than he's been the rest of his life. He thought he was going to grow, somehow stretching his spine at the chiropractor and all this other crazy cockamamie stuff. And of course, when he heighted in, he was the same height as he always is. And so he was 6 pounds overweight for his height. And, you know, I've done innumerable rants about how I think that there should be one height for every person. You become a pro, you height in once, you get a card, your height's on there, you know, you wait for the rest of the history in that division. Obviously, Marcello, who's got a very gifted physique, is just too big for Classic. You know, he can't make the weight. And, you know, he could have sucked down to 6 pounds. He obviously wanted to be bigger. He obviously knows he looks better bigger. And from my inside sources, you know, over there in Brazil, he was more than welcome to do the open class, okay, at that show. It is not true. It is not true that he was disqualified because he failed to make the weight class in Classic. He didn't make it. He was more than welcome to do the open. He chose not to do the open, probably because his head wasn't in it. Maybe he felt he wasn't big enough. But I see he posted on his Instagram I don't know if it was a couple of days ago or yesterday or something like that he is indeed going to the open class. And I think that is a good move. You know, look, he took a lot of flack, but you know what? He said his heart is always in the open, and that, you know, this was something he always wanted to do. And I think with COVID and he got a lot of pressure from people and people were dying, he said, well, maybe I should stay in Classic. But you know what? The truth of the matter is he looks better, bigger. He's got a big frame. He can hold a lot of muscle. Why not do the open? So I don't know what he was carrying. I don't know what he was carrying on with this. I'm going to come in heavier. You know, I'm going to be, it was kind of silly, but here's the little thing he wrote about the fact that he wants to go to the open class. It's in 2 languages. So I thought it was just relevant to put it up. But how he thought he was going to be taller than he was, you know, 6 months early, I don't know. But I did do some research. And if you watch Iron Rage today with Lee Priest and Dave Pulcinella, we found an article, and I kind of revealed that in Japan, the sumo wrestlers, in order to be a sumo, you have to be at least 5'8". So a lot of the young guys, sometimes 16 years old, they were getting silicone implants under their hair, like in their scalp, to kind of boost. One guy had 6 inches to the top of his head just so he could be tall enough to do sumo. That's how important it is there. So, I mean, Marcello only needed a couple centimeters probably. I mean, he could have slipped a little silicone under his scalp. Now, they did outlaw in sumo wrestlers, but the guys who supposedly already have the implant, their grandfather did, so they're okay. Thank God, right, for that. They don't have to go get them taken out if they don't want to. So, I mean, it's silly and it seems ridiculous, but the bottom line is that that's the rules, okay? And I don't know why they have to height these guys every single time, you know, they compete at every show. It's stupid. Give them a card, one height. They know their weight. There's never a discrepancy. No one can say, I didn't know. I thought I was going to be the higher height class. Well, no. Why would you think that? Because the last 6 shows you did, you were 5'9". You know, now you're not going to be 5'9.5" for the next show. And look, sometimes I've seen people get heighted in lower than they've been prior. So they might have been 5'11", and then they go and get heighted in at the Olympia. They're 5'10.5", and now they're overweight. So it goes both ways. You know, you shouldn't think you're going to grow, and you shouldn't be made, you know, shorter because whoever's, you know, hiding you in for some reason doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, so it goes both ways. But I'm glad Marcello is going to move up to the open class. I think for him, he's holding himself back. He's a young guy. Put on the size you got to put on. Compete in the open class. You got a gifted structure. You know, if you add 10, 15 pounds of muscle, you're going to be very dangerous to beat. And this way, I mean, maybe this controversy gave him more attention. And maybe in the long run, it'll actually work to his advantage because now people want to see what he's going to do. As long as he doesn't turn into a Colin von Moger, you know, and go crazy, will be great. I think this guy could be a very, very good open bodybuilder. And I've talked to a lot of people. A lot of people feel the same thing. He's got He's got the structure for it. Can he add the mass and put the size in? That remains to be seen. But good news, I guess, for the bodybuilding open world. We're going to have a really gifted athlete with great structure entering into the open category. I like to see guys moving up because you know what? I don't want to see guys stagnate in one class. If you're a tall guy and you have, good structure, why not grow into the open class from Classic? Classic is like a stepping stone for you. Then there's guys like Bumstead. I don't know. His bones must be hollow. He makes Classic easy. He's still got 10 pounds to gain. I don't know how he does it because the taller guys can weigh a lot more. But Bumstead has a really good shape, and so it enables him to add size and still make that weight cap. But anyway, that's the update. Marcello De Angelis, Horse MD on Instagram, going to the open class. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle news update.